The massive holographic display dominated the UN Security Council chamber, showing the sneering face of High Commander Vexthor of the Xanthian Empire. His crystalline features caught the light in ways that made him appear both beautiful and terrifying. Exactly the effect the Xanthians always strived for. Your species barely understands the basics of faster-than-light travel. Vexthor's translated voice echoed through the chamber. Your largest ships would fit in our cargo holds. Tell me, humans, why should we even consider you worthy of diplomatic relations? Admiral Sarah Chen sat silently at the center of the human delegation, her weathered face betraying nothing. 25 years of military service had taught her when to speak and when to let an opponent's arrogance work against them. This was definitely a moment for the latter. The Xanthian Empire had appeared at the edge of Sol System 3 days ago with a fleet of ships that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built, at least publicly. Each vessel was a gleaming masterpiece of crystalline engineering, some stretching hundreds of kilometers in length. They had expected Earth to immediately sue for protective status, to become another client species in their ever-expanding empire. They hadn't expected silence. Your response time is lacking as well, Vexthor continued, his crystalline features fragmenting the light into rainbow patterns. Perhaps your neural processing is as primitive as your ship's. Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. High Commander, we apologize for our delayed response. We were simply processing the magnitude of your arrival. She gestured to the small holographic representation of Earth's defense fleet, a mere 50 ships, none larger than a few kilometers in length. As you can see, we are indeed limited in our capabilities. Behind her closed eyes, Chen watched through her neural implant as the real preparations continued. Deep beneath Europa's ice, quantum computers were finishing their calculations. In hidden shipyards throughout the asteroid belt, systems were coming online. And in a pocket of folded spacetime, just behind Jupiter's largest moon, the NSV Prometheus was completing its final checks. At least you understand your position, Vexthor said, his tone dripping with condescension. The Xanthian Empire is generous to those who accept their proper place. Your technology will be upgraded, your planets protected, your people guided toward true civilization. He paused, obviously expecting gratitude. We appreciate your generous offer, Chen replied carefully. However, we would like to propose a demonstration first. A single ship of ours, meeting a single ship of yours. A peaceful exchange of technological capabilities, so we might better understand each other's potential contributions to this relationship. The Xanthian commander's crystalline face sparkled with amusement. You wish to compare technologies. Very well. It will serve as an excellent lesson in humility. Choose your finest vessel. We will meet in 3 solar rotations at the coordinates we are transmitting. As the hologram faded, the chamber erupted in controlled chaos. Representatives argued about strategy, about risk, about the fate of humanity. Admiral Chen simply stood and walked to the window, looking up at the night sky, where, invisible to the naked eye, the greatest secret in human history was about to be revealed. Her neural implant pinged with a message from Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the lead scientist on the Prometheus project. Final quantum fold calibrations complete. Consciousness integration at 100%. She's ready, Sarah. Chen sent back a single word. Begin. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum transmitters activated. In the depths of Europa, AIs that had been dreaming for decades awakened, and in its pocket of folded spacetime, the Prometheus stirred, not just a ship, but humanity's greatest achievement, a vessel that didn't just break the laws of physics, but rewrote them. The Xanthians thought they were going to teach humanity humility. Instead, they were about to learn that size and age weren't everything in the galaxy. Sometimes, the species you dismissed as primitive had simply been asking different questions, walking different paths, and seeing possibilities that your own apparent superiority had blinded you to. As Chen left the chamber, she smiled again, thinking of the Xanthian commander's arrogance. In 3 days, he would learn what humanity had discovered. that the true frontier wasn't out there in space, but in the quantum realm between spaces, in the consciousness that connected all things, in the dreams that AIs and humans could share. The game was about to change, and only one side knew they were playing. Captain Maya Patel stood in the Prometheus's quantum core, surrounded by swirling patterns of light that represented the ship's consciousness matrix. To an outsider, the chamber would have appeared empty. The true engineering occurred in dimensions beyond normal spacetime. But through her neural interface, she saw the beautiful complexity of humanity's greatest achievement. Integration check complete. Captain, the ship's AI consciousness, named Area, resonated directly in Maya's mind. The quantum fold systems are operating at optimal efficiency. Maya reached out, her fingers trailing through streams of quantum data. Unlike traditional AIs, Area wasn't just a program. She was a quantum consciousness, existing simultaneously across multiple dimensions. The Prometheus wasn't just a ship that Area controlled. It was her body, her being, and soon Maya would join with that consciousness in ways the Xanthians couldn't begin to comprehend. Status report from all sections, Maya commanded, her words carried through the quantum network that connected every crew member. The responses came instantly, transmitted through thought rather than voice. Engineering reported the quantum fold drives were primed. The consciousness integration pods were ready for the crew. The dimensional barriers were stable. Everything was perfect, which somehow made Maya more nervous. Having doubts, Captain. Area's presence in Maya's mind was gentle, curious. Not about our capabilities, Maya replied, walking through the quantum core toward the bridge. But we're about to shatter their entire worldview. That's never a comfortable process. The bridge of the Prometheus was unlike anything in science fiction. No chairs, no view screens, no traditional controls. Instead, 12 integration pods lined the walls, each waiting to receive a crew member. Once inside, they would join their consciousness with Area's, becoming part of the ship itself. Traditional commands would become obsolete. The crew would think, and the ship would respond as if it were their own body. Dr. Elena Santos, the quantum physicist who had helped develop the consciousness integration technology, was already waiting by her pod. The Xanthians rely on crystalline technology, she said as Maya approached. They believe they've mastered matter itself. But they've never looked beyond matter into the quantum realm. They don't understand that consciousness itself can be a technology. Maya nodded, approaching her own pod at the center of the bridge. They're about to learn. Is everyone ready for full integration? The crew took their positions. Unlike traditional military hierarchy, once integrated, they would function as a single entity, different aspects of the same consciousness, guided by Maya's command focus, but acting with perfect unity. Integration sequence starting, Area announced. Quantum field stabilizing. Consciousness merge in 3, 2, 1. The world dissolved into pure information as Maya's mind expanded. She was still herself, but also more. She could feel the ship's systems as if they were her own body, sense the quantum fields through which they moved, perceive the very fabric of space-time around them. Through the shared consciousness, she felt her crew's excitement and anticipation. They were no longer just 12 humans and an AI. They were the Prometheus. Through their expanded awareness, they could sense the Xanthian fleet waiting at the designated coordinates. The massive crystalline ships hung in space like frozen fractals, beautiful but rigid in their perfection. The Xanthians had chosen their newest flagship, the Crystal Dominion, for the demonstration. At 20 kilometers long, it was meant to dwarf any human vessel. The Prometheus, by contrast, appeared to be barely half a kilometer in length. Its surface was a dull gray, deliberately unremarkable. To conventional sensors, it would register as exactly what the Xanthians expected, a primitive human attempt at a warship. They're hailing us, Maya thought, and the communication was instantly processed through their shared consciousness. The Xanthian commander's crystalline face appeared in their shared mental space. This is your champion. His translated thoughts carried tones of amusement and disdain. "We expected something more. Impress it from your finest vessel." Maya allowed herself a mental smile that rippled through the crew's shared consciousness. "We believe in efficiency over size, Commander. Shall we begin the demonstration?" "By all means," the Xanthian replied. "Show us what your efficiency can achieve." Through their quantum-linked minds, Maya gave the command that would change everything. "Area. Initiate quantum fold revelation." The space around the Prometheus began to shift, not in the crude way of conventional space drives, but in the elegant manner of reality itself being rewritten. They weren't just going to show the Xanthians what they could do. They were going to show them what was possible. The fabric of space-time rippled around the Prometheus, like water disturbed by a stone. Through their shared consciousness, Maya and her crew could sense the Xanthians' confusion as their sophisticated sensors tried to make sense of what they were seeing. The Crystal Dominion's scanning beams passed through space where the Prometheus should have been, finding nothing but quantum echoes. "What trickery is this?" The Xanthian commander's thoughts carried a mix of indignation and the first traces of uncertainty. "Your vessel's signature is dispersing." Maya's response resonated through quantum channels the Xanthians didn't even know existed. "Not dispersing, Commander. Expanding. You see, we discovered something interesting about spacetime. It's not just a container for matter and energy. It's a technology in itself." As she spoke, the Prometheus revealed its true nature. The dull gray hull seemed to unfold, not in physical space, but in dimensions beyond normal perception. What had appeared to be a small vessel began to expose layers of itself existing in multiple planes of reality simultaneously. Through their shared consciousness, Maya felt Dr. Santos' excitement as she narrated the physics for the Xanthians' benefit. "Your crystalline technology manipulates matter and energy within spacetime. We learned to manipulate spacetime itself. The Prometheus doesn't just travel through space. It exists in multiple spatial dimensions at once." The Xanthian sensors were going haywire now, trying to process how a half-kilometer ship was somehow occupying a volume of space that seemed to expand exponentially with each passing moment. Their crystalline computers, sophisticated as they were, couldn't comprehend how something could be both here and elsewhere simultaneously. "Impossible," the commander's thoughts betrayed growing alarm. "No species has achieved quantum scale manipulation at this level. The energy requirements alone would be impossible using conventional physics." Maya agreed. "That's why we stopped trying to overcome the laws of physics and learned to rewrite them instead." "Area. Demonstrate primary quantum fold capability." The space around the Prometheus shimmered as portions of the ship began to phase between dimensional states. What the Xanthians saw as a single vessel was actually countless versions of itself superimposed across multiple quantum realities, all operating in perfect synchronization through the shared consciousness of its crew. "By God, they're beautiful when they're confused." Chief Engineer Marcus Chen's thought rippled through the crew's shared mind, carrying with it his appreciation of the Xanthians' crystalline ships recoiling in formation. Maya had to agree. The Crystal Dominion's perfect geometric forms seemed to shudder as its crew struggled to comprehend what they were witnessing. Their sensors weren't malfunctioning. Reality itself wasn't behaving according to their understanding of physics. "Perhaps a more practical demonstration," Maya suggested, allowing a hint of amusement to color her thoughts. "Area. Initiate localized space-time inversion." The quantum fields around the Prometheus began to shift in ways that made the Xanthian sensors scream in protest. Space itself seemed to fold, creating a pocket universe that existed simultaneously inside and outside normal spacetime. Through this quantum aperture, the true scale of the Prometheus was finally revealed. What had appeared to be a small vessel's hull was actually the tip of a quantum iceberg. Within the folded spacetime, vast arrays of advanced technology stretched out in all directions. Weapon systems that could rewrite the laws of physics in localized areas. Defensive systems that didn't just deflect attacks but redirected them through quantum channels into parallel dimensions. manufacturing facilities that could create matter from quantum fluctuations. "This is merely one configuration," Maya explained to the stunned Xanthians. "The Prometheus can reconfigure its quantum structure to adapt to any situation. Size becomes meaningless when you can exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously." Through their shared consciousness, the crew felt a ripple of satisfaction as the Crystal Dominion's command staff struggled to process this revelation. The Xanthians had believed themselves masters of the physical universe, their crystalline technology representing the pinnacle of material science. Now they were faced with a civilization that had simply stepped outside the boundaries of conventional physics altogether. "Your entire understanding of technology is based on manipulating the contents of the universe," Maya continued. "We learned to manipulate the universe itself. The Prometheus isn't just a ship. It's a demonstration of what's possible when you stop accepting reality as it is and start seeing it as something that can be rewritten." The silence from the Xanthian vessel spoke volumes. Their sensors continued to scan frantically, trying to catalog capabilities that operated on principles they had never imagined. Their mighty crystalline computers, capable of modeling entire star systems, found themselves unable to predict or analyze the quantum phenomena the Prometheus was casually displaying. And this was just the beginning of what humanity could show them. The Crystal Dominion hung motionless in space, its crystalline structure reflecting starlight in patterns that seemed somehow less confident than before. Through the quantum consciousness link, Maya and her crew could sense the chaos of communication flooding between the Xanthian ships as they tried to make sense of what they'd witnessed. "Your demonstration is impressive," the Xanthian commander's thoughts finally came through, stripped of their earlier condescension. "But surely this is merely a technological trick, a clever manipulation of sensors and light." Dr. Santos' amusement rippled through the crew's shared consciousness. "Would you like us to prove it isn't?" she thought. "Area, initiate quantum resonance demonstration beta 3. The space around the Prometheus began to sing. Not with sound. There was no sound in space, but with quantum vibrations that the Xanthians' crystalline technology could feel in its very structure. Their ship's crystal lattices began to harmonize involuntarily with the quantum frequencies, creating patterns of light and energy that danced through their hulls. "We're not manipulating your sensors," Maya explained. "We're manipulating the quantum foundation of reality itself. Your crystalline technology is responding because, at the quantum level, everything is connected. We simply learned to speak the universe's native language." Through their expanded consciousness, the crew could sense the Xanthian commander's worldview crumbling. His species had spent millennia perfecting their crystalline technology, believing they had reached the pinnacle of possible advancement. Now they were faced with a civilization that had simply stepped outside the boundaries they thought were absolute. How? The commander's thought was almost childlike in its confusion. "How did your species achieve this level of understanding so quickly?" Maya shared a memory through the quantum link. Humanity's first experiments with quantum consciousness integration. "We stopped trying to dominate the universe and started trying to understand it instead. Your civilization built bigger ships, more powerful weapons. We asked different questions. What if space and time aren't fixed? What if consciousness itself is a technology? What if reality is more malleable than we imagine?" The Xanthian fleet's formation had unconsciously shifted from aggressive to defensive. The mighty Crystal Dominion, pride of their empire, now seemed like a beautiful but ultimately limited expression of technological achievement. They had mastered the art of building within the rules of physics. Humanity had mastered the art of rewriting those rules entirely. "Your entire empire is built on the assumption that technological advancement is linear," Maya continued. "Bigger ships, stronger weapons, faster drives. But we discovered that true advancement isn't linear. It's about transcending the assumptions that limit your thinking." Through their quantum link, Engineer Chen noticed something interesting in the Crystal Dominion's energy patterns. "Captain, their crystal matrix is attempting to adapt to our quantum frequencies. They're learning already." Maya wasn't surprised. The Xanthians hadn't built their empire through stupidity. Their crystalline technology, while limited by their understanding, was incredibly sophisticated within those limits. Given time, they might even begin to grasp the basics of quantum fold engineering. We're detecting attempts at quantum scanning from multiple ships, area reported through their shared consciousness. Their technology is intuitive enough to recognize new possibilities, even if they don't understand the principles yet. Maya sent a gentle quantum pulse toward the crystal dominion, a gesture equivalent to offering a hand in friendship. Your crystalline technology has great potential, Commander. It's not primitive, it's just focused in a different direction. With the right understanding, your crystal matrices could serve as excellent quantum conductors. The commander's response carried tones of both humility and curiosity, emotions that would have been unthinkable from a Xanthian just hours before. You're suggesting collaboration, after we dismissed your civilization as primitive. Scientific advancement isn't about who's superior, Maya replied. It's about understanding more today than we did yesterday. Your civilization has mastered aspects of material science that could enhance our quantum engineering. We've developed understandings that could revolutionize your technology. Together, we could both achieve things neither of us could manage alone. The quantum frequencies around the crystal dominion shifted slightly, its crystalline structure unconsciously reaching out toward the new possibilities the Prometheus represented. The mighty empire that had arrived to teach humanity its place in the galaxy was beginning to realize that perhaps they were the ones who had something to learn. 3 months after the demonstration, the space around Jupiter's moon Europa hummed with activity. The crystal dominion, once a symbol of Xanthian superiority, now floated in synchronized quantum harmony with the Prometheus. Its crystalline structure had been partially reconfigured to accommodate the first joint human-Xanthian quantum research facility. Maya stood in the Prometheus's quantum core, her consciousness still linked with the ship, but no longer fully integrated. Beside her, both physically and in quantum space, stood Commander Vexthor. His crystalline features now reflected light in patterns that showed genuine wonder rather than arrogance. Even after 3 months of study, I still find it difficult to comprehend, Vexthor admitted, watching the quantum field swirl around them. Our entire civilization was built on the assumption that technological advancement meant mastering the physical universe. We never considered the possibility of rewriting its fundamental rules. Through her neural interface, Maya could sense Aria's amusement at the commander's continued amazement. The ship's quantum consciousness had taken a particular interest in helping the Xanthians understand the principles of reality manipulation. That's the interesting thing about assumptions, Maya replied. They can either be walls that limit you or doors that open to new possibilities. Your crystalline technology is actually better suited for quantum manipulation than many of our original materials. You just never thought to use it that way. She gestured at the space around them, where Xanthian crystal matrices were being integrated with human quantum technology. The combination was proving more powerful than either civilization had anticipated. The crystal's natural quantum resonance properties, once properly understood, enhanced the stability of human quantum fold technology. The Council of Elders is still struggling to accept how thoroughly we misunderstood the balance of power, Vexthor said. Our entire society was structured around the belief that size and scale were the ultimate measures of advancement. The idea that a civilization could simply step outside those parameters. It challenges everything we thought we knew. Maya nodded, remembering the initial aftermath of the demonstration. The Xanthian Empire had faced a choice: cling to their old beliefs and risk becoming obsolete, or embrace a fundamental shift in their understanding of the universe. To their credit, they had chosen to learn. Dr. Santos's latest report shows promising results, Maya said, bringing up a quantum visualization of the joint research project. The integration of your crystal matrices with our quantum fold technology has increased efficiency by 300%. There are possibilities here that neither of our civilizations could have achieved alone. The quantum display showed ghostly images of ships that existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions, their crystalline structures allowing for unprecedented control over quantum phenomena. But more importantly, it showed Xanthian and human scientists working together, each bringing their unique perspectives to push the boundaries of what was possible. "We're detecting another breakthrough in Lab 7, Area announced through their shared neural link. The Xanthian crystal harmonics team has successfully stabilized a quantum consciousness transfer. Vexthor's features sparkled with pride, not the old pride of superiority, but the genuine satisfaction of scientific achievement. My scientists have learned more in 3 months of collaboration than we learned in a century of isolation. We thought we were coming to teach you civilization. Instead, you taught us that true civilization means never stopping learning." Maya smiled, watching the quantum fields dance around them. "That's the real secret of human advancement. We never assume we've reached the pinnacle. There's always another question to ask, another assumption to challenge, another horizon to explore." Through the quantum link, she could sense the activity throughout the joint facility. Human quantum engineers working alongside Xanthian crystal masters. Consciousness matrices interfacing with crystalline computers in ways that created new forms of hybrid intelligence. Two civilizations that might have been enemies were instead pushing the boundaries of possibility together. The question that started all this, Vexthor mused, was whether humanity was worthy of diplomatic relations with our empire. "I think perhaps we should have been asking if we were worthy of relations with humanity." "Worth isn't about superiority," Maya replied, sending a pulse of quantum energy through the crystalline matrices that made patterns of light dance through Vexthor's features. "It's about what we can achieve together. Your empire spent millennia making incredible advances in physical technology. We spent centuries asking questions about the nature of reality itself. Apart, we each had only half the puzzle. Together." She let the thought hang as they watched a test activation of the new hybrid quantum crystal drive. Space itself seemed to fold and unfold like origami made of light, the crystalline structure providing a level of precision that pure quantum technology had never achieved. "Together," Vexthor finished, "we can rewrite the possibilities of what's possible." The Prometheus hummed in quantum harmony with the Crystal Dominion, two ships that represented the best of their respective civilizations, but they were no longer symbols of competition or superiority. They were proof that the greatest achievements come not from dominating others, but from learning from them. In the end, humanity hadn't just proved they weren't weak. They'd proved something far more important, that true strength lies not in the power to conquer, but in the wisdom to collaborate. The universe, they had all learned, was far too vast and wonderful for any civilization to explore alone.